Something unexpected happened at Bengals minicamp, and it is already creating a lot of discussion among Cincinnati fans. Just when several young players were starting to generate buzz and build momentum, the coaching staff made a decision that completely changed the rest of the week. Some players benefited from what happened. Others may have lost a valuable opportunity to continue proving themselves. And one defensive back, in particular, walked away from the day with everyone talking about his name. Before we get into all the details, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if you love staying updated on everything happening around the Bengals. Training camp is getting closer, competition is heating up, and there will be plenty of storylines to follow over the coming weeks. Now, let's get to what matters. The biggest news coming out of Cincinnati is that the Bengals decided to cancel the final 2 days of minicamp after only 1 day of work. According to head coach Zach Taylor, the team accomplished everything it wanted to accomplish during the off-season program and felt there was no reason to continue the remaining scheduled practices. That decision immediately shifted attention toward what happened during the only minicamp practice that took place, because now every standout performance carries even more significance. With no additional minicamp sessions available, the highlights from that single day become the final impressions before everyone turns their focus toward training camp. One player who clearly took advantage of the opportunity was Josh Newton. If you have spent any time following Bengals coverage or social media, chances are you have already seen the play that had everyone talking. Newton came away with an impressive interception during 7-on-7 work, picking off a pass from Joe Burrow. The play quickly became one of the most discussed moments from the practice session. What made the interception stand out wasn't simply the fact that it came against Burrow. The description of the play itself showed Newton displaying impressive awareness and athleticism. The ball appeared to be within reach of the intended receiver, yet Newton managed to slide across, secure the interception, and take off up the sideline. It was the kind of play that instantly grabs attention during off-season workouts. For Newton, the timing could not have been better. With the coaching staff evaluating every position group and every depth chart battle, making a splash during the only minicamp practice available carries extra value. The unfortunate part for Newton is that there will not be additional minicamp days for him to build on that momentum. Under normal circumstances, a player who delivers a standout performance would have another opportunity the next day to continue stacking positive impressions. That opportunity is gone now, and everyone will have to wait until training camp resumes. At the same time, Newton's strong day also highlighted another storyline involving the Bengals' cornerback room. One player who did not generate the same level of attention was Tacario Davis. The discussion centered around competition within the secondary. With Dax Hill dealing with a knee injury, opportunities exist for other players to step forward and strengthen their case for larger roles. During this particular practice, however, Newton appeared to be the player who capitalized on the situation. Davis entered the offseason carrying attention because of his physical traits, especially his length and wingspan. Those characteristics were frequently mentioned as major strengths coming out of college. Yet, during this minicamp session, the spotlight landed elsewhere. What makes this battle particularly interesting is how crowded and versatile the cornerback group appears to be. Multiple players are competing for opportunities, and there seems to be significant flexibility regarding who can line up inside, outside, or in different sub-packages. According to the discussion surrounding the depth chart, there are numerous names fighting for position, which means every practice rep becomes important. And that brings us back to why the cancellation of the remaining minicamp days matters. For a player like Davis, 2 additional practices could have represented 2 more chances to make a strong impression. A standout performance on day 2 or day 3 could have completely changed the conversation. Instead, everyone now heads into a waiting period until training camp begins. While Newton may have delivered the defensive highlight of the day, the offensive highlight belonged to another familiar name. Charlie Jones emerged as one of the biggest winners from the practice. Jones produced what was described as the play of the day, making an impressive sideline catch. Interestingly enough, the reception came against Newton, creating a scenario where both players could be viewed as winners from the same play. Newton reportedly played tight coverage, but Jones still managed to complete the catch after initially getting his hands on the ball, adjusting and securing possession as he went to the ground near the sideline. A nearby official ruled the catch good, adding to the excitement surrounding the play. The catch generated attention because Jones has often been associated with special teams contributions rather than offensive production. Throughout his time in Cincinnati, many fans have viewed him primarily as a return specialist. His experience on kick returns and punt returns has made him a recognizable figure whenever the ball is in his hands. According to the discussion surrounding his performance, Jones remains one of those players who naturally generates excitement whenever he touches the football. At the same time, questions remain regarding his role as a receiver. His receiving production has been limited, and opportunities have not consistently come his way. That reality makes catches like the one seen during minicamp particularly noteworthy. Every positive offensive play helps strengthen the argument that he deserves continued consideration when the coaching staff evaluates receiving depth. Training camp and preseason will likely become critical evaluation periods for Jones. The conversation surrounding him also included another important detail. This season represents the final year of his rookie contract. As the organization continues making decisions about extensions and long-term roster planning, questions naturally arise regarding where Jones fits into the future picture. That doesn't necessarily mean anything is decided. What it does mean is that every opportunity moving forward becomes significant. Strong performances during training camp and preseason could help strengthen his position and remind everyone of the value he brings to the roster. When looking at the bigger picture, the cancellation of minicamp created a unique situation. Normally, off-season practices provide multiple opportunities for players to build momentum. A standout day can be followed by another standout day. A disappointing session can be corrected the next morning. Progress becomes easier to track when there are several practices available. This year, however, the Bengals effectively closed the minicamp chapter after only one practice. Taylor explained the reasoning clearly. From his perspective, the team completed all planned installations and accomplished the goals established throughout the off-season program. He also expressed satisfaction with the work completed since the group began meeting, lifting, and practicing earlier in the off-season. He specifically referenced communication on defense as one of the areas he wanted to evaluate and indicated that he saw what he needed to see. There is also a practical side to the decision. Injuries are always a concern during off-season work. The mention of Hill's knee issue serves as a reminder that every additional practice carries some level of risk. From the coaching staff's viewpoint, if the necessary objectives have already been achieved, reducing exposure may make sense. Still, there is another side to the debate. Young players fighting for roster spots or larger roles rarely complain about extra practice opportunities. Players like Newton could have continued building on their momentum. Players like Davis could have worked to change the narrative. Other names might have emerged entirely and created new storylines before training camp arrived. Instead, those questions will remain unanswered for now. The final takeaway from this minicamp is simple. Josh Newton leaves with one of the biggest highlights of the off-season program. Charlie Jones delivered a catch that immediately caught attention. Tacario Davis remains a player many fans will continue monitoring closely as competition in the secondary develops. And the Bengals coaching staff clearly believes the team is further along in its preparation than some might have expected, enough to end minicamp early and shift the focus toward training camp. Now the waiting begins. The next major chapter will be training camp, where these competitions will continue and where players will have a much larger stage to prove themselves. Until then, the lasting memories from minicamp will come from one practice session, one interception, one spectacular catch, and one decision from the coaching staff that brought the week to an early close. What do you think, Bengals fans? Do you agree with Zach Taylor's decision to cancel the final 2 days of minicamp? Or would you have preferred to see the team continue practicing? And which player impressed you the most? Josh Newton, Charlie Jones, or someone else? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Go Bengals!